I'm Rob Jones, and welcome to the Sony Jamiroquai Remix Competition tutorials, brought to you by Producer Tech and sponsored by Loopmasters. In these short movies, I'm going to give you a quick guide to using Ableton Live, the music software sponsoring this contest. I'll introduce you to the live set, which has been specially made for the competition, using the original recorded audio from the classic JK track, Too Young to Die. I'll teach you all of the main areas of the software, then I'll show you how easy it is to make a remix with it. If at the end of the movies you want to learn more about Live, then you can check out our online beginners course at live-courses.com, which teaches you everything you need to know to be able to make remixes or your own music. Enough talking though, let's get remixing. These movies assume you've already visited Ableton.com and downloaded the Ableton Live software program, which is available as a free 30-day trial, and then installed it on your computer. And that you've also downloaded the Jamiroquai Remix Project session file, which is a live pack, that you can simply double-click to get started, whether you've booted up Live yet or not. Then, on the next pop-up window, just choose Install to add the project to your Live library. Once the pack's installed, a new Live set will open, and you can then see the welcome text on the right side of the window. Here, there are helpful links, such as one taking you to these tutorial movies at live-courses.com, and also a link for buying more Loopmasters samples to make your remix with, which we'll look at later on. The top link is an important one, as clicking on this takes you to the project files, which then open up in the browser. The main one to look at right now is the .als file at the bottom, which you can double-click to open up the Live remix set. The software all works within one window that can be customized the way you want, with dividers that can be dragged to enlarge and get rid of sections, as well as switches and buttons in the corners to show and hide different things. I'm going to simplify the set as much as possible here, as I know how daunting it can be for a complete beginner. So now we just have the track showing, with the coloured clips here creating the song. To make it easier for you to see these clips, which are all recorded audio, I can click on the dividing line between tracks and then drag it down to enlarge it. Or if I want to enlarge all tracks at once, I'll use the Select All Edit command before dragging. So now we can see all the audio waveforms, and therefore have a slightly better view of what's going on. And when I hit play on the transport at the top here now, you'll hear and see each track combining to create this classic song, as the position marker scrolls along the timeline. This is called Arrangement View, and is where a song is laid out. And now it's playing, you can hear each of the individual tracks doing its thing, with the name of each one written at the end here on the track header, along with a meter, which shows you the level of the audio signal on the track. Markers have been placed along the timeline, so if you want to jump to a particular part of the song, then you can just click on one of those. Or you can move the song position pointer yourself to choose where to play from, by clicking on one of the tracks in the arrangement, but avoiding the coloured strips at the top of each track and the red lines running through them. Then you can hit the space bar to stop and then start the track. Now let's check out some mixer controls, which it's easiest to do in Live's other main display mode, Session View, which I switched to using the buttons in the top right corner, or by hitting the Tab key on my keyboard. The song is still playing in this view mode, so you can still see all the tracks here. But there's also a grid above, which I'll show you later on. For now, let's simplify things again by clicking on the switches so that just the basic mixer controls are showing. The main mixer controls then are the numbered buttons, which are for muting and unmuting, or turning tracks on and off. At the moment, I'm turning all tracks on and off, but that's because I selected all the tracks a minute ago. So I'll just click on any of the track headers here now, and then you can see I can turn any of the tracks on and off individually. And another main control here is the solo switch, which allows you to hear a track on its own. So I can check out how just the drums, bass, or vocals sound. Switching back to arrangement view now, I'll click on the M switch to display the mixer controls there. And now you can see you have all the same mute and solo switches there too. So don't you people, we don't have to suffer no more. Underneath these switches you have the panning and level controls, which are bars that you can click and drag up and down on if you want to move a track more towards the left or right speaker, or make it louder or quieter. Again though, these controls are much easier to see in session view, so I'll switch back to that. Here now you have the faders and knobs you expect to see on a mixer, which is more preferable to the bars in the previous view mode. And don't forget, as with all software, you can use the handy undo command if you want to get rid of something you've done, which will probably be particularly useful the first time you use the software. Also, before you start messing around with the session, you might want to create your own set by choosing Save Live Set As from the File menu, and then typing in a new name. You can even set a different location for the project, like your desktop, if you want to make things really easy to find. However, when you reopen Live later on, you can always load sets by selecting them from the Open Recent Set list here. So that's given you a quick overview of the session, and hopefully enough information to start having a play around with it yourself. In the next movie, I'm going to show you how you can start making edits to it and bringing in your own loops and sounds. See you then.